Hello, and welcome to the Continuity Report, powered by ohmtown.com. Today is April 21st, 2024. It's Season 1, Episode 16. Today we're going to be talking about bizarre movies. Shadow the Hedgehog, Mustang turned 60. Streaming is cable now. Firefly and Castle equal The Rookie. The Greatest Sci-Fi Show you aren't watching. Ungentlemanly warfare and James Bond. False advertising lawsuit, movies just end, and Dune Part 3. I still don't have an intro, but everything's powered by ohmTown, so blah. Hello everybody, I am Mayor Watt, and everywhere around me is the sentient AI from the future.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to Continuity Report.
Cool. I was actually considering getting rid of all of this and just having two AI visualizers like this so that the show seemingly is nothing but AI.
I don't know. We might be mixing together, though.
And that's how I was going to say Siri is made, the little mini HomePods, but no, based on every interaction I've ever had with Siri, any AI is vastly superior. Although today I asked for something specific from a store, and it said, I don't know what the hell is going on. I've got some results. Ask me via a browser, which I don't know why I would do that. But anyway, and then I said, I want to know this. And it told me exactly this and wouldn't shut up for 45 minutes. It was like
a very detailed response.
About like pasta or something. I can't remember what the question even was. Anyway, has nothing to do with the show because the show is actually about movies and streams and pretty much anything that you can watch or be entertained by, really. I mean, that's what the Continuity Report is all about. So let's get into it. But
it's not about music, because it's
a different show.
Theme of another show.
Yeah, it's a different show. We'll talk about that later. So hello, AI. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Hello, Mayor Watt.
Don't think you really had a choice, right? Because you're air gapped and you can't really get away. You're stuck on a Raspberry Pi inside a Faraday cage, only capable of communicating with me. Don't worry, everybody. I'm actually saving humanity because the sentient AI from the future is perpetually looking for a Terminator body. We might have actually seen it.
Looking.
Apparently, it looks
getting
a lot
some ideas from some of the articles.
Gonna have to start deleting some portions of your large language model. The first article is over in the Continuity Report. 9 bizarre upcoming movies we can't believe are actually happening. From over at Screen Rant. I aggregate, or ohmtown.com is the destination for a whole lot of aggregation. And one of the sources is Screen Rant. We only get a little snippet from them. And then we talk about it. And then we send everybody over to Screen Rant. And to do that, you follow the little link that I throw into the show notes for said article. This one's called Bizarre Movies. They have a completely different title, but that's okay. Follow the link from the chat or the show notes. Go over to Screen Rant, and you'll get to read what we read and reacted to. Charles Papadopoulos over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. The deck statement says there are dozens of us. No, sorry, that's from Arrested Development. There are tons from
Great
the Never
show,
Nude.
by the way.
Yeah. There are tons of upcoming movies that seem incredible and others with such bizarre concepts or castings that we're surprised they're happening. It's kind of a how did this get made kind of an article, maybe?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Without some of the screaming. 2024's most anticipated movies include hits from auteur filmmakers, long-awaited sequels, and upcoming installments to the film industry's highest-grossing franchises. How about Margot Robbie's Monopoly movie After Barbie, Margot Robbie is producing a movie based on Monopoly.
Which is interesting because there aren't really any characters from the game. I mean, sure, there are the pieces and everything. It's just,
Right?
I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they make this play out, because you're kind of, I mean, you could do world building about the minutia that's in there, right? But the whole thing about that game was anti-capitalism, to show the negative aspects of capitalism. And it's very predatory for the people who want to live in the various abodes that you are renting out and expanding on, etc., and getting a monopoly. It was all
True.
about being a detractor to capitalism. And now,
Well, the Barbie movie, I think, broke out of the kind of the mold for that. So maybe this can happen here too.
which is funny because Barbie. So it says a Monopoly movie could turn out to be fun, lighthearted family experience. No, I doubt it. No. After all, it wouldn't be the first film to be based on a game or even a board game at that. Robbie hasn't been announced as part of the film's cast, simply taking a producer role for the time being. This could mean a varying level of involvement from her, though after Barbie, it would seem beneficial for the film to have her in a commanding creative role, guiding the film to offer something meaningful. And how about Margot Robbie's Sims movie?
Wow, we're getting quite a bit of action from Margot Robbie.
And this is, it says it could have a Truman Show premise, but let's not recast that. Hypothetically, the Meta Sims movie sounds a lot like the Truman Show, which are plenty of themes to explore about autonomy and the Sims, which seems strange to explore in a video game adaptation. So we'll see about that one. That one's really interesting, though. It says it's set to be directed by Kate Herron. Narratively, it's another bizarre film announcement, as the Sims game premise is that it simulates real life. But
That's
imagine,
what Barbie was, wasn't it?
I mean, it was that Barbie were the toys. So
Right.
the Sims is, it could be much like Ender's Game kind of a thing. People are playing the characters, but it's actually controlling real humans.
That's true. There's also another game along those lines that was more modern, but I can't think of the name of it.
Wait, say that again?
Not another game, another movie.
Say that again?
There was a more recent movie where there was like a movie character, but it somehow crossed into real life.
Oh, yeah. What was it? The something guy?
Yeah, but I can't think of what it was.
Yeah. Something like the Solo Guy, or I can't remember it either. So number 7 is The Apprentice, and they're spinning this as a basically a remake of the TV show The Apprentice. 41-year-old actor hasn't had many opportunities to demonstrate his talent in transformative roles, so The Apprentice could be fantastic for his career. And you just know that what's his face is going to be in there. Gotta be. The Matrix 5, which I really don't think should exist. Another Matrix movie has been announced after the divisive 2021 sequel.
Right. You know, when you have such a great result, you should definitely keep at the same franchise.
Yeah, apparently Matrix 5 is going to be without the Wachowskis for whatever reason. I mean, it's not really their IP anymore. It's been sold to Warner Brothers Discovery. So I guess they're going to take another stab at it. Then the Minecraft movie with Jason Momoa is set to star. That's interesting. I don't know how.
But that's weird too, because Minecraft doesn't really have a storyline, but okay.
See, but the original game doesn't really. Sorta. I mean, it does when you start peeling back the layers. And if you go look at any of the game theory alignments, there is actually lore, history, world building, literally. Jack Black is going to be in this as the lead.
That should be entertaining.
Wow. Number 4 is the Naked Gun reboot. This one, yeah, I could handle it if it is funny, but
Yeah, but how are they going to reboot it in current times?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of it is a little bit too, I don't know, it wouldn't be accepted really by cultural. Yeah, considerable ists.
Fill in the blank ist.
Yeah. And Leslie Nielsen isn't around anymore, so they're saying the Naked Gun reboot cast will be led by Liam Neeson, the star best known for Batman Begins, Taken, and Star Wars franchise. I don't know how he's going to be funny in this, but okay. It's also being produced by Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane. Liam Neeson made a cameo in Ted 2.
I didn't even know Liam Neeson did comedy.
I guess so. Joker 2 as a musical. I'm just going to skip on right on past that one. And then Borderlands, which is probably the closest to Fallout in any of these. And if they follow the chemistry of Fallout, this is going to be a surefire hit. It says the release date is August 9th, 2024. So it's
okay.
Right around the corner. The lead cast trio Kate Blanchett, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be in a supporting role. After Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of hit it out of the park. So
that's true.
I think, and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, has always had some good either primary roles or supporting roles throughout her career.
I think she's a good actor.
Yeah. The funniest thing is from True Lies, where she falls, but that was actually what do they call it?
Well, it wasn't ad-libbed. It was actual fall, right?
Yeah, it was an accident. Yeah, and they kept it in, and they recovered from it. And Arnold's reaction was authentic, like, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, and then Red One, J.K. Simmons' Santa outfit for Red One is hilarious. J.K. Simmons. Hold on a second. There has to be some movie magic here, because isn't J.K. Simmons like as big as The Rock? He's a big guy. J.K. Simmons.
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have to look at these two together outside of the movie magic snapshot here. So J.K. Simmons' Santa outfit for Red One is hilarious. It says here. It says that this is going to come out November 15th, 2024. With Chris Evans, Dwayne Johnson, Kiernan Shipka.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Because it's probably being, I assume, is it a holiday movie with Santa?
Yeah, they're playing Santa. It's a crazy plot. So Red One will follow The Rock and Evans as they try to rescue Santa Claus following his kidnapping. It's a crazy plot for a movie, especially given that J.K. Simmons is playing Santa. Set photos of the 69-year-old actor indicate that Red One will be one of his most memorable supporting roles to date, as he's playing a muscular, swagged-out version of Santa. Red One could be an incredible holiday season adventure movie or a very mediocre action hero film. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's going to be awesome,
but I don't know if it'll be Oscar winning.
Yeah, you're going to want to turn your brain off for a lot of these. Yeah. Although, man, Fallout ended with a setup that makes you really want season 2, and I'm glad that it's been renewed.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if this other article made it in today's show, but I think this is going to set the stage for some other movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Or I mean, other shows.
Yeah, other shows. Yeah, that's what when you said movies, I figured that it was shows. So the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Keanu Reeves is voicing Shadow the Hedgehog in the third Sonic movie. I think that it's going to actually get some pretty rave reviews. People are going to love this next Sonic. It's weird. I think that people loved Number 2, better than number 1. And I think that they're going to love this even more because the characters that are being pulled into this one, namely Keanu Reeves. According to both The Hollywood Reporter and Variety, Keanu Reeves has been tapped to voice Shadow, the anthropomorphic hedgehog best known for his jet-powered sneakers and fondness for guns. While the studio is yet to make an official announcement, news of Reeves' casting comes after Jeff Fowler teased that the next Sonic movie would be something, so let's find out what it was. It'll be inspired by Sonic Adventure 2, the Dreamcast game that first introduced Shadow in 2001, so duh. The article's over at The Verge. The deck statement says Keanu Reeves has reportedly joined the cast of Paramount's next Sonic movie as Shadow, the superior hedgehog. Charles Pulliam Moore is the author of the article, and hopefully Keanu Reeves does not pull a John Wick on the set of Sonic the Hedgehog, starts deleting people.
I hope not.
Oh, this has absolutely no content in it. I mean, it's basically reporting what everybody else is reporting. Shadow cinematic arrival was also teased at the end of the last Sonic movie, where he appeared to be cryogenically frozen at a mysterious black site. Interesting. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
I mean, this seems fitting for Keanu to voice this character.
Shadow's first words are when they open up the cryogenic chamber. It's not just a dog. It's not just a car. And then goes on a rampage, deleting everybody. Let's go on to the next article. Next article is in the Continuity Report channel over on ohmtown.com. The Ford Mustang turns 60 with thousands of starring roles in movies like John Wick and Bullet. That's why this article about a Mustang is in a show about movies. Dee Bryant jams on the gas in her Mustang, rockets forward toward a line of plastic bollards at the Irwindale Speedway. Suddenly she takes her foot off the gas. The growling car whips around 180 degrees in a perfect arc. Veteran stuntwoman Bryant is a top driver and a rare black woman rising through the ranks, I suppose. I fill in that last blank there because our articles are always kind of snippets of the full article over at our sources. Carol Horst over at Variety.com put the article together. And let's see. Yeah, it is rising through the ranks. She's doubled for Angela Bassett, Kerry Washington, Regina King, among many others. She's here to demonstrate the prowess of the Mustang as the iconic car turns 60. Dun, dun, dun. Apparently, it's appeared in more than 5,000 films and TV shows. Steve McQueen charging through the streets of San Francisco in his 1968 Mustang GT is in every sense of the word iconic. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, I didn't know it was featured so heavily.
Oh, wow. Okay, anyway. So the Mustang debuted in New York World's Fair on April 17th, 1964, but even before the public saw it, the car had been used in the James Bond film Goldfinger, which was released September 1964. And Goldfinger is the first time Mustang appeared on film, says Ryan. It was actually a pre-production version of the Mustang that was sent to Walter Hayes, who headed our PR team in London. And it was to generate buzz for the Mustang, so we sent it over. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun. Looks
That's
familiar.
interesting. I wonder if that was the first kind of like movie as advertisement for the car.
Oh, I don't know. I think Model Ts were actually in movies as well, but they were there, but maybe not treated as,
I mean, they were certainly in movies, yes. I don't know if they were trying to gin up excitement about them.
Yep. So yeah, probably have to do a little bit of research. So they've been in several. Ford's involvement in these productions, it says if the production is one that Ford is fully supporting, yes, we do work with them. We'll have the mechanics on hand for prep. We'll do all of that kind of stuff. In some cases, the producers make the movie and never even ask Ford one way or the other. But for all of the different Bond films, there were Ford people on site overseeing the use of the vehicle and the scenes. Yeah, so the Eleanors from Gone in 60 Seconds were custom jobs and were supported. The John Wicks were custom jobs and those who supported. Bullet was supported as well, and if it wasn't Ford, we were farming it out to Carroll Shelby and his team to get it prepped for Holman Moody and their team to get him prepped. So all of these custom built Mustangs. So like everything can be souped up inside. Nobody knows a damn thing about it. But the body line is iconic. When you look at a Mustang, you see that body line and that B pillar and the door's shape, and it's just spectacular. I've always loved the Mustang. The only problem that I've ever had with a Mustang is when the Mach-E came into existence. It kind of like seemed to poo-poo the line.
I think it like diminishes the idea of a Mustang.
I mean,
but that's even a light term for it, right?
Yeah, honestly, I really do think so. But although what I really want from Mustang is an all-wheel drive Mustang. I mean, if Porsche can do it, then why can't Mustang do it? And if you're gonna make an electric Mustang, make it a Mustang. I mean, when that thing's tires are on the road, you should see a bulldog coming down the road, not what the Mach-E was. It's just kind of, it's like a gnat. Anyway, sorry, we just lost Ford. Oh, I just got a text. We will not sponsor you ever. Don't ever ask. So it's going to turn 60, folks. So go over and check out this Variety article. I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's keep going though. Oops. I may have actually messed something up. Hold on. It's a bad day to stop drinking. The next article is over in the Wanted channel. The lines between streaming and cable continue to blur. That's because cable companies pretty much own all of the the means of distribution. So despite promises of a new and improved TV and movie viewing experiences, streaming services remain focused on growing revenue and app usage. As a result of that focus, streaming companies are mimicking the industry they thought they'd replace: cable. On Monday, The Information reported that Disney plans to add a series of channels to the Disney Plus app. Those channels would still be streamed and require a Disney Plus subscription to access. The article is by Sharon Harding over at arstechnica.com, and damn near 30 years ago, we mocked the idea of this actually happening. Absurd. There would be too much disruption in this, and you wouldn't be able to congeal around one particular blah, blah, blah megawatt. Look what's going on.
Well, right. It's exactly as described, but
yep.
You're expected to have all of them.
Yep. And now you're paying more, and you're still getting the ads because you have to pay $3 more just to get the ads removed from a service that didn't have ads when you signed up. Yeah. Good luck suing that company. Class action my ass. You're not going to get anything out of that. So the report comes as streaming services continue trying to find ways to capitalize off cable companies' customer base. They are. People are leaving cable. I don't quite get it.
Some people have probably never used cable in younger viewers.
Yeah, I mean, all they have to do is spin up an app and they pull it off of cable distribution. Go and watch Discovery on regular television. Oh, that's right. Never mind. So Disney's exploring adding channels to Disney Plus with programming in specific genres, including either Star Wars or Marvel branded shows. So that's Apple has the same thing right now. So channel surfing 2.0 is basically going to be a document that consists of how much money you are paying to subscribe to individual services that used to be part and parcel to the 115 channels you got in cable. And while you only watched one or two of them with any regularity, now you have to spend more to get to those one or two. If you followed the streaming industry lately, you won't be surprised to hear that the ad dollars are reportedly, pardon me, I lost my line here.
So they're losing ad dollars, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I mean that's what's the impetus for this.
Yeah, the ad dollars are reportedly behind the push for live channels. Disney Plus, like many streaming services, aims to be profitable by the end of Disney's 2024 fiscal year and extract as much revenue from each subscriber as possible, including by using tactics like password crackdowns to fuel profits. So, I suppose, I don't know, the business process, extract. I guess until the well runs dry and people get tired of that shit. Ever increasing prices, but salaries aren't going up. Profits are going up to the various stakeholders that own the stock, but so as we saw with Netflix, password crackdown, streaming shift to ads, streaming companies tend to copy each other's strategies for revenue growth, and live channels could be something more streaming companies get involved in, as WBD and Amazon, as examples, already have, albeit separate from their flagship on-demand streaming apps, which differ from what Disney Plus's live channel will reportedly be like.
Reportedly?
And then it says Disney, notably, is no stranger to the business of online live channels, having 21 similar offerings within the abc.com app, including a channel for ABC News and another for General Hospital.
Really, of all the channels that might be missing from everybody's viewing, they needed to have one dedicated to a show?
Well, it's been around for like 30 years, so I suppose. But my problem here is if it's on ABC and if it's all over the place, is the implication that they're going to say, well, here's a sub channel within our app, you have to subscribe to that?
Yes, I think so, and that's not going to be free.
All right, folks, you better start screaming. Let's keep going though. I need to see something. Okay.
Isn't it going to be ironic that everybody's going to view the cable companies as being the best thing ever?
Yeah, let's go back. We're going to glue the cable back together, folks. Oh no, I hit a button. I swear, I'm having a day. So, the next article is over in the continuity report. 9 Firefly and Castle actors with cameos in Nathan Fillion's The Rookie. Nathan Fillion remains one of the more personable Hollywood stars, and there have been 9 Firefly and Castle actors on The Rookie, reuniting with the beloved lead star. After a similar role in Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan and lead role in the sitcom Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place with Ryan Reynolds, Fillion enjoyed his breakout role as Captain Malcolm Reynolds in the 2002 series. 2002? It's been 22 years since Firefly?
Wow. And he had a smaller role in Saving Private Ryan, not similar.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of, well, actually, in LA, on the police, there could be some similar activity to Saving Private Ryan, I guess.
Oh, no. The show remains a cult hit, even though Fox canceled it after one season. Fillion found more success on Castle, which aired for 8 seasons on ABC. I've been told that we should watch Castle, by the way. And actually,
is it a mystery, I think? And I mean, if you're a fan of Nathan Fillion, I guess it'd be worth checking.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it. Sorry, 1 second here. So it's about a a mystery novelist named Rick Castle that teams with NYPD detective Kate Beckett to solve the case of a copycat killer who recreates murder scenes from Rick's novels.
Oh, that's interesting, because that kind of crosses over, even though it's older, with something like Argyle.
Yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, oh wow, never made the connection. So this article over at Screen Rant, written by Sean S. Leolis and Andy Acton, has a deck statement. Nathan Fillion's former co-stars and on the series Firefly and Castle have been reuniting with the actor on his current show, The Rookie. All right, let's see. We'll just skip right on through because there's things that you can go and read about, but we'll just highlight. Alan Tudyk was on Firefly. This is the resident alien now, Alan Tudyk.
Oh, okay.
And is also the bot that slapped. Remember that little blooper that I showed you about how the robot slapped him? The live actor that plays that robot is Alan Tudyk.
Oh, okay.
And they're a crime scene cleaner, Elroy Basso.
Okay.
And really steals the show. He gets into his characters. It's really amazing. So Tudyk, who remains close friends with Nathan Fillion, has appeared in 2 episodes of The Rookie playing crime scene cleaner Elroy Basso. Yeah, he really steals the show. So Sean Mayer, from Firefly, Mayer played escaped convict Caleb Jost, and I believe was not just a doctor, right? Was kind of, Sean Mayer's role on Firefly was the kind and gifted Dr. Simon Tam, who, along with his sister River, is running from the evil alliance. That's an understatement. Played escaped convict Caleb Jost. Maybe in The Rookie. Yeah.
Right. That's what I think it's featuring.
Okay. So Greg Henry from Firefly. Henry played a judge in The Rookie. I'm going to go a little quicker through these. John Huertas from Castle. Huertas starred as an undercover agent on The Rookie.
I had no idea there were so many crossovers.
Seamus Dever played a lawyer arrested for buying drugs. So what'd you do on Castle? Less noble role when he plays Chaz Bachman, a lawyer Nolan arrests for buying drugs. Got it. Then Tamala Jones plays the mother of rookie police officer Aaron Thorson. Oh, wow. She's like steady state.
She's actually been featured a bit. I mean, she wasn't just like a, 5-minute part.
No, she's still there, though. I mean, like, they'll pop up from time to time because Aaron Thorson has access to certain things. So, like, hey, do the wedding at our house or something like that. Oops. All right. Molly C. Quinn from The Castle. Quinn plays a young woman who is arrested for a kidnapping con. Let's see. Tox Olagondie, I think, is there. I'm sure I'm ruining.
But that sounds like the co-star of Castle.
From Castle is a PI partner. Castle's PI partner. I guess, what does she play in? What did they play? Haley also assisted both Castle and Alexis with their own cases, often using unapproved methods. Oh, so that's in PI. So for The Rookie, they appeared in 6 episodes of season 3 as Fiona Ryan, an ethics and criminal justice professor who teaches the night class that Nolan attends as part of The Rookie. Oh, okay. Interesting. Annie Wershing from The Castle. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Castle's
she
villainous
was
doctor.
Very prominent in Rookie.
She really plays the evil part. This is Castle. She's from Castle and played Castle's villainous doctor.
Oh, yeah, she did very well with villain parts.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So, ta-da! So hopefully we didn't ruin anything for us here on the castle if we start watching it. But there you go. Okay, let's keep trucking through this. The next article is over in the Mobile channel, and the Greatest Sci-Fi Show you're still not watching is getting a new season. What are we not watching? The world of For All Mankind was forever changed when the Soviet Union arrived on the moon before the United States. That one event changed the course of the show's alternate history, and now we'll get to see exactly how it happened. I haven't watched any of this, so I guess they're right. Jermaine Lucier over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. The deck statement says For All Mankind is back for season 5, and I haven't watched a single episode of this.
It might be worth checking, mainly because it has 5 seasons.
Yeah, and it's sci-fi. And Star City will explore the Russian side of the story.
Hey, that's neat.
I just don't see it, you know? I don't know why. This has slipped under my radar because I know that I've seen the name For All Mankind. Apple TV Plus just announced that not only is For All Mankind coming back for its 5th season, it's also getting a spin-off called Star City that will tell the story from the Soviet point of view, starting with them beating America to the moon. So their fascination with the Soviet space program has grown with every season of For All Mankind. Executive producer Matt Wolpert and Ben Nadivi said in a press release, the more we learned about this secret city in the forests outside of Moscow where the Soviet cosmonauts and engineers worked and lived, the more we wanted to tell the story from the other side of the space race. So this is legit. I guess it's based on the real history, and then we could not be more excited to continue building out the alternate history universe of For All Mankind with our partners at Apple and Sony. So based on some of the best lie includes a whole lot of truth, so that it's almost incapable of being extracted, right? So
this could be based on some factual history?
Correct. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this.
It might make for a good TV show.
Yep. As a massive fan For All Mankind, this is fantastic news, but one has to wonder, with the show getting so little love from the general public, how are we so lucky? How is this very expensive show still going and also now expanding? We have no idea, but we're just going to go along for the ride, says the author of the article. So, yeah, talking about it definitely draws attention to it. So start talking about it, folks.
Exactly. I didn't know it was around for 5 seasons. I don't think I've heard of people really discussing this show, but maybe that's the whole premise of this article.
Yep, time to go and look. Let's keep going. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare's James Bond connection explained. So we haven't seen this yet. Really want to. Only saw a trailer. Brandon Zachary over.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. All right.
It said it in the snippet.
Yeah, it said there may be. Right. The following contains spoilers for the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, now playing in theaters. If you do not want to be spoiled, see, I'm not really spoiled by anything. I don't know about you. So, but I'm not gonna.
It's okay for us. I just wanted to alert the viewers.
Yeah. So Okay, the following contains spoilers for the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, now playing in theaters. Boop boop boop. I guess I could change the lights, right? No. Anyway, apparently the plot is based on Operation Postmaster, a real-life secret operation carried out against the Nazi military during World War II. We've known about others that have done similar real-life operations. After the Germans established control over much of the Atlantic Ocean, the British military is forced to turn to a chaotic band of deadly soldiers to carry out secret operations that could turn the tide. This serves as the central story of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is now out in theaters. So eventually became more famous for his literary work, the Fernando Po, to target the German naval superiority, right? The true story behind the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare set up the inclusion major British military figures. This includes one who helps coordinate the group, who eventually became more famous for his literary works instead of his actions during World War II. So, Ian Fleming, James Bond's creator, Ian Fleming, is in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Ian Fleming's role in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is about to be explained. So apparently, James Bond creator Ian Fleming is a minor but vital character in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Freddie Fox plays Fleming in the film. He had previously appeared in another Guy Ritchie film, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. The future author is portrayed as one of the people who helps plan for the film's central heroes and works to keep them a secret from the higher-ups in the British military. So
that's interesting. I wonder why. Well, maybe that's connected in real life.
Well, that's, it's kind of like Le Carre, right? They write
That's
about
exactly what
they know. And Ian Fleming was involved in the war and wrote about perhaps the inspiration for various types of spies that existed out there. Fleming is loyal to Gubbins and Churchill, working alongside them even after being threatened with disciplinary charges by the Admiral of the Royal Navy. The film reflects Fleming's real World War II experience, which ended up serving as a major inspiration for his most famous creation, James Bond. That's not James Bond. Anyway, pretty neat. Worked alongside Special Forces executive. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of this because I don't really want to do a hardcore spoil, but I think that this might actually... What did you just catch?
I think Casino Royale was where, I didn't know this, where James Bond was first created, which surprises me because Casino Royale is one of the relatively new James Bond movies, unless there was an original and that was a remake.
I don't know. Was there? Let's find out.
So that just surprised me because it seemed so late in the James Bond movies.
Well, Casino Royale was actually a 1967 spy parody film originally distributed by Columbia Pictures. Loosely based on the 1953 novel by the same name from Ian Fleming. So the first novel to feature the character James Bond. Ta-da! This just in. There's a parody. All right, let's keep going though. The next article is over in the continuity report. I've seen a couple of articles about this, and I was really curious. I never really looked into it, but I was curious what this was really about. It's over in the continuity report, but the article is from Variety. The title of the article is Two Ana de Armas Fans Settle False Advertising Lawsuit Over Yesterday Trailer. So, two men who rented Yesterday. Oh, this is the expansion. This is a second one.
Well, I think this was submitted for the daily, but also for the continuity report.
So Gene Mattis over at Variety.com put the article together. Maybe that's what it is, because this is the weekly show, and we actually talked about it briefly. More because of the legal aspects of this than anything else. But two men who rented Yesterday on Amazon Prime after seeing Ana de Armas in the trailer, only to discover that a role was removed in the final cut of the film, have settled their false advertising lawsuit.
I mean, would you bring a lawsuit if somebody wasn't in a movie?
I don't know.
I mean, it is false advertising, but do you care enough to bring a lawsuit over something like that?
You know what? It's the principle of the thing. So Peter Raza and Connor Wolf, who now are going to be forever tied to not being able to see Ana de Armas for $3.99. They were cheated out of $3.99. A federal judge initially sided with them, finding that movie trailers are not immune from false advertising claims, which is true. You know, Red Bull doesn't give you wings, but hey, let's be irrational about it.
But it does give you wings.
But various setbacks followed, leaving the men on the hook for $126,705 in universal legal fees. On Friday, they accepted a settlement that will resolve the case. The terms are not disclosed, and neither side responded to a request for comment. How did they get on the hook for legal fees?
I can't quite figure that out.
So, from the evidence of court filing... Wait. Did I say it? Yeah, okay, Gene Mattis over at Variety with this article together. From the evidence of the court filings, nobody is happy with the outcome. Universal believes it was forced to spend 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars defending a patently frivolous lawsuit. I agree. Meanwhile, the plaintiff's class action lawyers, who initially believed the claim was worth millions of dollars, ended up believing that California's courts are rigged in favor of the Hollywood studios. It was a stupid, asinine... Anybody who...
Okay, now I get it.
Go.
Well, I mean, just that they must have filed something that said, okay, this is frivolous, and therefore the other side needs to pay all our legal fees.
But wouldn't the settlement in favor of the plaintiff should have covered? It should have been included in the complaint.
Did. I'm sure it does.
Yeah. The studio warned that if they were treated merely as advertising, viewers could sue every time they thought a movie didn't live up to the trailer. No. It's if the trailer includes something that isn't part of the movie.
Right. Which I don't think that's the first time that's happened. I mean, I don't know that they normally show somebody who is not in the movie.
Right.
But I'm sure there are trailers that show scenes that are not in the movies.
Right. Yeah, right? I can almost guarantee that.
Cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get cut because of whatever, but it's an action part that might not exactly be in it. It was cut before or after, but it would have flowed better if that scene was in it. So the difficulty for the plaintiffs, however, was converting that victory into real money. The class action lawyers, led by Cody L. Lahoon, I think, argued that everyone who bought a ticket to the movie or rented it on any platform had potentially been duped. But had they? Yesterday tells the story of Jack, a struggling musician who comes to after getting hit by a bus and discovers that he's the only person on Earth who remembers the Beatles. He then rockets to stardom, recreating their discography. De Armas
now I get the title. That's a song by the Beatles.
Yesterday, yeah. Then he rockets to stardom, recreating their discography. De Armas was supposed to appear briefly late in the movie as a suitress? Okay. For Jack's affections. Weird. Her role was cut out of the film after test screenings. Wow. The test screenings didn't approve of De Armas? Interesting. Must have been cyborgs. Universal argued that most people who saw the film likely did so for reasons having nothing to do with De Armas, and that viewers might not have even seen the trailer that included her for a few seconds, or if they did, they might have been more interested in the other stars or in the Beatles' music. So yeah, I would say the only reason why anybody went to this movie is because they were appreciative of the Beatles, not De Armas.
Exactly. I mean, I guess it'd be one thing if the whole star of the trailer, right, like the protagonist or something, wasn't in the movie at all or something like that.
Yeah. You know, if De Armas was the love interest of the protagonist and saved the protagonist from insanity, part and parcel to the stability of this, comatose musician, wildly famous for the Beatles, White Album or whatever. Yeah, that's not how it played out. They're not even in the film. In fact, if you look at who's in the film, which a lot of people do, regardless of the trailer, they look. Is De Armas in that? You know, I saw a little snippet. Is De Armas really in that? And they go, look. Come on, this is ridiculous. Anyway, fascinating. So, two people forever ensconced in the hallowed halls of class action attempted lawsuits regarding a single film yesterday and De Armas. Okay. There's a certain title there that I want to plop on somebody for that, but I'm not gonna, because they're wildly litigious, I'd say. Let's keep going.
Right. Let's not, although we could go after them for a frivolous suit.
Yeah, so the next article's over in the continuity report. It's okay for movies to just end. At the end of The Beekeeper, an amazing thing happens. They fade to black and roll the damn credits. That's not what they say in the article. They just say roll the credits. I saw a film earlier this year. It's on home video now and worth $5 and was slightly flummoxed. Written and directed by David Ayer from Fury. It stars Jason Statham, not Jonathan. Jason Statham. Look, I know Jonathan Statham, okay? It stars Jason Statham
as his stunt person or whatever.
His stunt cousin. As a former commando turned vigilante, waging violent warfare against swindlers who hide behind the anonymity of the internet. It's one of those films with a conspiracy that goes right to the top. So, of course, it ends with a massive oceanside villa where some of the most important people on Earth have gathered. Statham's character sneaks in closely guarded compound and does what men like Statham does.
I think there's a spoiler alert here, too.
Yeah, it says may contain spoilers right there. This is over at Roger Ebert, by the way, but Matt Zoller Seitz puts the, or Seitz, S-E-I-T-Z, put the article together. It's called The Beekeeper. So my understanding is that they like get activated because something hinky goes down, and then everybody's like, "Oh, it's just the beekeeper," and then they're like, "No, it's the beekeeper." Which is like a cleaner.
Ohio State.
Yeah, basically a cleaner kind of a person. So all of the great directors know how to get out of the story once it's over. You can argue about the advisability of the running times of certain films by Martin Scorsese, Stanley Kubrick, David Lean, Akira Kurosawa, or Sergio Leone, but rarely about the choice of when and how to end things. Think The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, going out on Eli Wallach being shot down from a noose by Clint Eastwood. These actually are pretty long form. So it says somewhere in here.
I guess they're basically saying the movies just keep going and going after it should just cut.
And some should, yeah. So Matt Reeves' The Batman, a very good movie on a familiar subject, has what feels like 4, possibly 5 endings.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, sometimes you're watching a movie and you're like, oh, I thought that was the end, but then it just keeps at it.
Yeah, Wes Anderson never spends a second longer in his fictional worlds than he has to. Even the Grand Budapest Hotel, which has framing device upon framing device upon framing device, he exits all of them swiftly once old Zero is done with his tale. And I agree. Grand Budapest Hotel was fascinating to watch. Never a dull moment. And even when there was a quiet moment, there was something right on the horizon. And you knew that the period was there. Like it was blah, 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 period. And then you knew something was going to happen. So it says the Coen brothers have a nearly impeccable track record when it comes to endings. Even the ones that are generally thought of as lesser, like Lady Killers or Hudsucker Proxy, end with elegant brevity. And I honestly, unless you are hardcore planning for a sequel, there is an ending. So, put that period there.
Maybe that's part of the problem, though. There's so much in the way of sequels and just like, let's keep going with the franchise.
And there's unknowns. So they end the movie and they don't know if it's going to be like, they test it and they're like, oh, it's rave reviews. And they have no confirmation that the fans are going to demand a sequel. And if there's a period there, how do they continue it? Right? There's no Cliffy.
Exactly. So they have to make it just kind of.
Maybe there's more. I mean, that's how Dune Part 2 ends. You know there has to be a Part 3. It doesn't end with...
When they filmed it, though, they probably didn't know if Dune 3 was going to be made.
Yeah,
when it was released, I think they knew.
I thought that it was just Dune Part 2, and that was the end of it. But nope, this is going to continue. And I'm there for it, don't get me wrong. But, okay, speaking of Dune, the last article for today is about Dune 2 Sandworm success is bad news for Part 3.
This may be the only article that ever comes through ohmTown that talks about sandworm success.
Sandworm success? I don't know. I mean, the sandworm popcorn bucket was creepy as hell.
That's true.
Talked about that. Sandworms are a smash hit in Dune Part 2, but unfortunately their success might be bad news for Dune Part 2. Part 2 received What's wrong?
Bad news for Dune Part 3.
Part 3, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, okay. Anyway, so it's unfortunately for Dune Part 2's success, the sandworms are going to be bad news for Dune Part 3. So, Part 2 received glowing reviews from both critics and audiences alike, something largely due to the success of the sandworms who added to the incredible action scenes in the movie. I can't believe that that's the reason, you know?
I mean, is that why people went to see Dune 2? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I mean, I certainly didn't go, oh my god, you know, I wasn't in awe of the Kwisatz Haderach gliding along. In fact, I'm sitting there going, you know, the sand whipping by him and it cutting through a dune is going to blast him off of there, you know, like a tidal wave. But no. You know, everybody, ooh, come on, suspend disbelief. Come on, Marijuana, suspend disbelief. So, Willy Wonka as Paul Atreides, who becomes emperor. The question remains whether the plans for Dune Part 3 can be successful without the popularity that the sandworms brought to the franchise. Well, we're not done with Dune.
You know what? Did they have a focus group with Dune Part 2 that was made up of members of, like, the Sandworm Society? Like, was there an overemphasis on the sandworms?
They were all part of Snowpiercer, which is what happens to Dune after it turns green, as promised by the prophecy. So the article is over at screenrant.com, and we're spoiling all kinds of stuff right now because this actually just hit mainstream.
Yeah, spoiler alert here.
Yeah, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce this name right. So Memory is the first name. Ngulube, I think, is the last name. Correct me phonetically. Send it to mayor@ohmtown.com. So everybody fell in love with the sandworms, I suppose, but they were actually, I don't think that they were that pivotal a role. At the very end, they played a role.
But they were huge for the Fremen's
like migration and stuff like that, and
like when he rode the sandworm. I mean, that was a turning point.
Yeah, the prophecy. So let's see here. They say there's possibility that they will not be in the third installment of Dune, is what's highlighted in this article. And frankly, the possibility is low because there's still going to be quite a bit going on Dune. That's now the seat of power.
Yeah, the other thing is, since
Willy Wonka will not sit still.
Since his name is based on the desert mouse, I would think there'd be some tie in there with the sandworms at minimum.
Right. Yeah, and there's more from the books that actually involves the sandworms as time goes on. There is so much world building in the Dune mythos that we haven't even touched on. Other worlds that we haven't even heard from yet. Uh, and if you think
Well,
that
that's good for future movies, right?
yeah, your audio's messed up again. But if you think that it begins and ends with Paul Muad'Dib, Usul Atreides, um, that's not where it ends. And part 2 has a revelation that I don't recall taking place in the first one, in the first movies, or any of the movies actually that preceded this one. The declaration of the Atreides. I'm not
Is
gonna.
this?
Yeah, I
I
don't want
won't
to.
say it exactly, but did it have to do with another planet and
Yes.
other people? Okay,
Yes.
yes.
So they're saying that. Well, Screen Rant is saying, and Screen Rant is Memory, the author. They're saying that in Herbert's books, the sandworms are not featured after Dune, but this is already deviated from the book. In fact, I think that Dune remains a focal point because there's an objective here that's been promised by the Messiah, a certain changing of Dune's face. So I'm not sure if we can actually adhere to anything having to do with Dune.
I also wonder if there's going to be any kind of time lag. I mean, I assume there will not be, but if there was, I could see that would support the premise here.
And see, the real problem here is that there are time jumps, because if I recall correctly, Paul Atreides doesn't see. I don't want to ruin even part 3 before it actually gets produced, because don't read the books if you want to know. If you want to be surprised by the movie, don't read the books. But if, like, everything that transpired in this is in the books, but the world building potential for this is Star Wars, right? It's
Oh,
massive in
absolutely.
scope. So I really hope that they continue to build out the rest of the books and expand on the lore and start talking about the minutia within it as well. It has the Warhammer type of mystique to it, Warhammer 40k mystique. There's so much that can be brought into this. And the weirdest part about all of this is most people don't realize that all of this is human. Yeah, there's...
Right. It doesn't, I don't know why it doesn't seem like it is, but it actually is.
Yeah, it's all genetic manipulation that's created the odd creatures, and the specialized perception of races, but it's houses that have followed a particular line of genetics and manipulation of genetics to become what they are. It's quite a fun world building exercise. But if you don't mind being spoiled by reading the actual source materials, go and read. There's like 15 books now in the series. You only really need to read about 5 of them, and they become excessively esoteric as time goes on. But go and check it all out. So Dune, it says planet it takes place on: Caladan, Giedi Prime, Arrakis, and then part 2 is Arrakis and Giedi Prime. But hold on a second.
Well, that will explain the sandworm piece for the last line there.
Hold on a second. Yeah, they say planet it takes place on. Arrakeen isn't a planet.
Oh.
So Arrakeen is later known as On and then Keen, was one of the largest cities on the desert planet Arrakis, which is Dune. So this, they even
it
say
should
it in...
say Arrakis, but maybe it's focused on Arrakeen.
It must be, but the planet it takes place on is not the right designation for this. I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Location or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So Arrakeen is just a large city. It's the one that they blew up basically at the end. In one of the scenes in Dune Part 2, they make mention to stopping people from breathing Arrakeen air, and that's basically that city's air. They're trying to get rid of the people. So yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah, Dune Part 3, it says it's likely to take place on Arrakeen, but I'm sorry, no, that's not. No.
Wonder if AI had a helping hand in this article.
It's weird, right? Prior to the arrival of the Atreides on Arrakis, the Emperor right-hand man, Count Casimir Fenring, and his wife Margot had resided in the palace. Leto I had chosen Arrakeen for a seat of government because it was small, easier to sterilize and defend. But it's the location is Arrakeen. So, but the planet is Arrakis. So yeah. It's Dune. So anyway, don't want to get sidetracked for too long because we've got 2 more shows that we need to get through today. And we're done with the continuity report for today. So we always get back into the party bus and race back down to Main Street and refresh that page for the continuity report. Don't know what's actually going to get aggregated between the last hour and now. Oh, that's interesting. How the DeLorean time traveled without going 88 miles per hour in Back to the Future 2. Oh, I really want to talk about that.
Maybe that'll be in next week's show.
We'll have to add that. Okay, well, that's it for today, folks. I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmtown.com and the sentient AI from the future that's keeping Mayor Watt safe. It's going to say, see you later.
See you later, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining for Continuity Report. Be back soon. We have 2 more episodes for you today.
Pick up that can. Ew, I've got a sandworm on me.